What if the world's leading economies decided to shift away from the US dollar? Imagine a scenario where the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, decide to peg their currencies to gold. How would that impact the economic landscape? Renowned economist and financial commentator Jim Rickards has shared insightful thoughts on this very scenario. According to Rickards, such a move could potentially put Western countries in a precarious position, akin to a checkmate in a game of chess. Rickards emphasizes that the BRICS nations, by pegging their currencies to gold, could create a parallel economic system. This system would operate independently of the influence of the US dollar, which currently holds the status of the world's leading reserve currency. The result? A significant shift in economic power. Underlining the sentiment of shifting away from the US dollar, Jim Rickards, a notable economist, once said, "The BRICS nations are not just thinking about it, they're doing it. They're acquiring gold, building up their reserves, and moving away from the dollar." This statement illuminates the proactive steps being taken by these nations. In essence, they are making strides towards creating an economic safety net, independent of the US dollar. This move could be seen as a strategic maneuver, aimed at strengthening their economic resilience in the face of potential financial downturns. In the event of a major economic downturn, the BRICS nations could potentially safeguard their economies by relying on their gold-backed currencies. This move would provide a buffer against the volatility often associated with fiat currencies, particularly in times of financial crisis. Furthermore, Rickards suggests that this could lead to a new form of gold standard. With their currencies backed by gold, the BRICS nations would have a level of economic stability that other nations still reliant on the US dollar may lack. In this light, the idea of de-dollarization gains momentum. Let's take a moment to reflect on the words of renowned financial commentator Jim Rickards. He once stated, "The dollar won't disappear, but it will become less important in international finance." This quote encapsulates the possible future, where the US dollar's dominance might diminish without completely disappearing. The growing influence of gold-backed currencies could shift the global financial landscape, pushing the dollar from its throne. Rickards further argues that this potential shift away from the US dollar could lead to a rush of trillions of US dollars back to the United States, causing inflation to skyrocket. The implications? A possible financial crisis, with a significant devaluation of the dollar and a severe impact on the US economy. In his book, The Death of Money, Rickards suggests alternatives to the current monetary system. He states, the new system could include gold, special drawing rights, SDRs, or a mix of other currencies. This indicates a potential shift towards a more diversified global monetary system, less dependent on the US dollar. Such a system could potentially provide stability against the unpredictability of the dollar, offering a safety net for economies worldwide. However, the transition to such a system could be a complex and challenging process, with far-reaching implications that would need to be carefully managed. In conclusion, according to Rickards, the BRICS nations pegging their currencies to gold could serve as a game-changing strategy. It's a move that could potentially reshape the global economic landscape, shifting the balance of power away from Western countries and towards the BRICS nations. However, it's crucial to remember that this is just one possible scenario in a complex and ever-changing economic world. The future remains uncertain, and the impact of such a move by the BRICS nations will depend on a multitude of factors. In the words of Rickards, in the world of economics, as in chess, it's essential to think several moves ahead. And so, as the game of global economics continues, we can only wait and see how the pieces will fall. As we venture into the unknown, it's important to remember the wise words of Jim Rickards. The game of global economics continues, and we can only wait and see how the pieces will fall. This metaphor speaks volumes about the unpredictability and potential volatility of the global economy. As the BRICS nations consider pegging their currencies to gold, they're essentially making their move on the global chessboard. Will this strategy checkmate the dominance of the US dollar? Or will it be a risky gambit that could backfire? As we stand on the brink of this potential seismic shift, the world watches with bated breath, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes game. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing, leaving a comment, and hitting the like button. It helps more than you know.